Alright then, hi, hello everyone, welcome to another video of mine. I'm, as you can tell, doing something a bit differently, doing a recording with gameplay in the background due to the FNAF movie releasing technically 2 days ago for me, because I released on the 4th, or the 5th, or the 3rd, I can't remember, but it released a day early from how it did in the US, right? So, some stuff I'd like to note, and I want to talk about a lot of these unique details I learned in the movie. One thing to note. Anyone else was concerned about the fact the Wizards weren't called the Wizards. They're prototypes used for spare parts. Those are the exact words used in the film to describe the Wizards, right? Meaning, if any of this lore, which it isn't to be literally believed in the movie, but it can reflect into the games, as we know. Alternate perspectives, stuff can be similar. Could mean now the Wizards were apparently prototype models used for spare parts, were renovated into the classics. Because we all know Wizards are definitely the classics. That's a confirmed theory that we live with and I consistently live with, right? But in this universe, or the movie universe, it doesn't make any sense. Because we definitely see the Wizards and the originals walking around and existing at the same time. Another unique factor, Charlie's possession is a lot more unique now in the movie's continuity compared to the games. We didn't think animatronics could physically leave their possessed form of their character, but it looks like they can, right? Because the way Charlotte seems to rough is there is no way the puppet physically fits itself into human bodies unless it's an Ennard situation, which I could believe, right? Because thinking about certain aspects of how the puppet's possession work, it possessed a physical human being, right? Technically three. And depending on how long its possession goes on for, it looks like it can kill someone. Or it kills them on its own accord. Because, right, that girl was murdered when we saw her in the film after she got the code and left the perimeter. Right? Oh, and please note, I have a small tidbit. A lot of this movie definitely wouldn't have happened if Mike didn't toss himself out against her at the early point in the movie in the front yard, right? About the fixed part, because they would have found out. Or another funny joke is if the teacher wasn't such a horrible person and didn't destroy her work, Abby wouldn't have gone to the pizzeria and we wouldn't have had that. Right. Anyways, yeah. To more importantly, one thing to note also, which I found was interesting about this movie, is Foxy. We finally got an explanation for why Withered Foxy's eyes don't work. The sensors in his eyes don't allow his thing to not work. I don't know what's the best way of describing it. That's the best way I'm thinking of describing it, right? What else? Well, we already know, anyone who saw the post-credit scenes knows Afton's coming back for the third film. But we have 3 loose ends being led up for that third film right now. Sorry if it sounds a little loud by me. It's raining and I'm walking around because I don't want to sit completely still working. Yeah, but as I was saying, we have 3 antagonists for the third film. The puppet, who is possessing currently, Vanessa, because she was left off, meaning she's going to be a primary antagonist. Second, we have William Afton, who is possessing his suit or corpse. We don't know which one it is because he's not alive anymore. He bled out in the suit. And thirdly, we have my new and personal favorite antagonist to ever come out of the franchise, Michael, being an antagonist. I know people don't understand why I would like that, but I love it. Also, I love the detail of when when Vanessa goes to visit Charlie when she's younger, she's wearing Elizabeth's outfit, playing up the Elizabeth aspects and points that people knew and would have liked to say about the movie. Also, do you guys like the background gameplay going on in the background? I don't have much FNAF gameplay. I'm currently playing through the game in my own private time and such. But yeah, she's wearing Elizabeth's outfit. And please note, how many people were shocked just to see the fact there was a full suit for a baby sitting in the office up there? Does that mean in Elizabeth's house there is a full suit or one of of baby in there, right? You can hear this is the raved rantings of a fan, right? Because I'm a fan of the series and everything. God, I wish I met more fans. Yeah. So yeah, more interesting details relating to it. Love Corey's cameo. Looks like he's gonna be cameoing in the third film, from what I can tell. Looks like we're also probably gonna get the third film, probably in 2 years' time again, hopefully. I don't know. If it takes longer than the next 2 years, then I could work with that. Like, it needs time to bake in the oven. Also, how many people are currently upset with Rotten Tomatoes and everything? Because currently critics are against the FNAF movie. I don't know what their problem is when it's a good movie. I mean, I didn't like the short runtime, but there's no way they could have made it into a 2 hour long film for that. But yes, anyways, as we were saying, I'm sorry, I disappeared for like a second in the background recording. You guys would never realize. But yeah, I'm trying to keep this relatively short and concise about those lore aspects and stuff. One, I love how this movie confirms that Mangle was a Foxy variant. I know we know that, but the fact that in the office, when you see, it says right there when it controls over, when Mike is looking over, it says Mangle is Foxy. Like, there's no other name, no variant and stuff. It's just Foxy, right? I love that detailed aspect ratio. I love the fact that toys didn't really get a lot of screen time, but they were still there for their big segments. MatPat had 6 speaking lines, and now it's it for him. Love that. He didn't really hear that it's MatPat if you don't know. Torchica being a main antagonist. Oh, that also being a very unique detail. A lefty reference in the fact the puppet possesses character, and this looks like the way the puppet just can naturally possess. It looks like the puppet could crawl in the suits and use them as suits, which is interesting, and will work along the mechanisms. Unique detail that Chica, and it probably looks like everyone has spring locks, or at least the toys have spring locks, because if you saw during the scene where the puppet pops out of her, I don't know if I'll have game audio or any visuals for any of this stuff. Probably I won't. But yeah, the thing is, the Chica has spring locks on her sides, which means a unique detail. If the spring locks, the toys could have had spring locks in them, not all like full standing spring locks because they only have 3 fingers or so. But it's still interesting that they had spring locks. Other details to note about the film, I don't know. Oh, we finally got an explanation for how Chica's mouth hinge falls out and stuff. If you don't understand, like in this one scene with Corey, there's a little dot or a little hook on the back of Chica in their jaw. Don't know if it's a detail that they left in or anything, but Chica has a bolt that you screw in to keep her jaw in spot. It just isn't there. Also, was absolutely terrified by the tiny marionettes. Didn't like those things at all. They scared me to no return. They murdered someone. They shredded them to absolute manic. But the fact we have Michael in the movie universe, and Michael is a serial killer, meaning if it looks like how the lore is to be believed, if this is a universe where Afton's kids are adults, maybe, but there is no confirmed third child because there's no pictures of a third kid, meaning it's only 2. I mean, I said that about the fact they swapped kids, but that didn't pan out. But more importantly, Henry will most likely make a reappearance in the third film. Most likely, all I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna try to stretch this to 10 minutes. That's about it in auditory stuff. But yeah, any personal peps I have against the movie? Nothing really. Shadow Body's cameo was good. Really upset we didn't get a Shadow Freddy cameo, cause. But yeah, guys, that'll probably be about it. I don't want this video to stretch on very long with any unique details or anything. But if you guys like this, I could do a second video doing other tidbits and stuff about the movie and anything else that you'd like to know. But yeah, guys, thank you. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, I don't care. And see you guys in the next video. Bye.